All right, good morning. This is Sports for Real. Had a couple of day hiatus there. Had some stuff going around campus, and I had to go away from campus yesterday, and that lead me to bad signal areas where I couldn't go online. So I apologize, but I'm back today, and I had it all worked out what I was going to talk about until I checked the headlines. We're going to talk about some updates that I saw concerning the NCAA and their attempt to try to maintain some kind of hold on law and order in college sports. It's a long shot for them, but at least they're trying. But the question is, will what they're trying to do get overturned in the courts? And I get on to that a little later. But I want to talk a little bit today about the Paul brothers. Like I said, I was getting ready to talk about the NCAA this morning. Then I saw the headline that Logan Paul has issued a blank challenge to NFL players that he would fight any of them for $1 million. He would. He specifically called out Myles Garrett, talking about he'll knock him out pretty much. Well, that's a very tall order because Myles Garrett is a pretty big dude and he moves pretty quick for a big guy. And based on what I know about Logan Paul, which is very limited, and but what I do know is very telling. I saw the second fight he had with that KS dude from England, and Paul, pretty big guy, so is the KS guy. But when they're fighting, they're in close proximity and nobody's hitting nobody. Just looking at the technique that they had, both those guys should have knocked the other one out. That's just how bad that fight was. Now, since then, both those guys have taken it a lot more serious. But you're not going to take a novice and turn him into a legitimate professional fighter in a matter of 2 or 3 years. It don't work that way. So they take these gimmick fights and they throw money out there to try to get people to take it. And they're pretty much marketing geniuses of what they are, especially his brother Jake. He's talked his way into the real pro boxing ranks, and he's managed to fight Asian boxers, and basically a glorified exhibition is what they are. Yet you ring it in a way that he actually wins. But in reality, a guy off the street cannot defeat a boxer in a prize fight or a street fight. In a straight up street fight. Now, if it turn into you can pick up a stick or cut him or something, and that changes the whole dynamic of the fight. But if it's just hands only, no guy off the street that doesn't have the training can beat a professional boxer. And I know there's some bad guys out there, and I know some guys out there say, well, he hadn't fought me. Well, I'm talking about you too. If you hadn't trained like they train, you're going to be a whole lot quicker than you. The reflexes are going to just be better. And before you know it, it won't take long. In the first 6, 7 seconds, you're going to be out. That's just how good those guys are in the ring. But Paul, I don't know how good he's gotten since that second KS fight. And I still don't think that he ought to be calling out some of these guys in the NFL, because these guys are very large. They're used to exacting damage on other people, and they move much quicker than you think they do. So once Paul get in there, he will find out, depending on who he fought, that he's going to be overmatched. And unless he pulls off a move like his brother did to get Mike Tyson to not knock him out, I don't think he stands much of a chance. So in other words, he needs to stay on the porch and go pick on somebody that he thinks he'd have a better chance. Somebody like me. I have openly stated that if the money was right, I would jump in the ring, not only with the KS guy from England, that's who I really was talking about before, and Logan Paul. In my advanced age, I don't see why I couldn't get in there and exact some damage. And I'm not an NFL player, but if he's going to call out YouTubers like they did a couple years ago, which I missed, I would be sure to throw my name in the hat. Be just the thing I need to go out there and get in full shape and take on a challenge like that. Now, it's great risk because the older you get, the more susceptible you are to get caught by something. And especially if you don't see like you used to see. So it would be a great risk due to my advanced age. But as far as skill level, I don't even see Jake Paul or Logan Paul or KSI. I'll jump right in there if the money is right. So I don't give a damn if you see it or not. You calling out NFL guys right now? Call me up. Let's see what we can come up with. That's all I would say about that. Now, nobody's scared of Logan Paul. Exactly T-Mail 45. But the thing I'm asking is, why are you calling out NFL players? I know you're looking for your next gimmick. And talking about $1 million, but the average star player is making much more than $1 million in NFL. That doesn't excite them as much as it would somebody who's not making $1 million. Now, I don't think nobody's in the NFL is going to fight him, a current player, because they have this NFL Players Association union, and I don't think the union will allow a football player to step into the ring. And that's something that needs to be checked on. But I'm pretty certain that the NFL Players Association would not allow one of their current players to step into the ring. Now, there's a lot of guys out there that would take this fight. What's the guy? Greg Ellis, was that his name? Played for the Cowboys and got suspended. He got into the ring, not a boxing ring, but like an MMA kind of thing, and he was doing pretty good with that. And the thing about it, he's got a concrete hand. I saw a footage of him when he was sparring with one of his sparring partners, and he hit the sparring partner, almost knocked him out. I mean, he recovered enough to stay afloat. But yeah, that leg hurt, and you could tell it hurt. And he does some serious damage. But in fights like that, you have to be much better skilled and be able to overcome somebody of that massive power and use it against them, somebody with some experience. But if you don't have that experience, then you got a problem. And I think that would be the case if, say, a Greg Ellis was to fight a Logan Paul. You're going to drop him because I don't think he can stand up under that punch, man. And the only way to show that these guys are really fraudsters is for somebody to knock them out. So they keep on calling people out. You're going to call out the wrong one, and they're going to end up on the camera somewhere. All right, let's see what we got here. I remember Julius Peppers was making $1 million a game one season with the Bears. Yeah, it is chump change, man. So if he step it up $15-20 million, now we're talking something. But just $1 million, no. You're going to have to call somebody like me up because I fight for $1 million. 100,000 look pretty good right now, but $1 million, shit. Which one is the referee is all I need to know. Because I'm going to go after the other one with fervor. How about that? Now, the other thing that's going on, the NFL league year is about to start this Wednesday coming up. And they already got the Ducks lined up about what they're going to do. Stephon Diggs has been alerted that he's going to be released from the Patriots. And it's kind of a strange situation there because he helped them get to the Super Bowl. He had like 85 catches and over 1,000 yards receiving. And he still had 2 more years left on his deal. But for whatever reason, the Patriots have decided that they don't want to deal with all the things he's got going on outside of football. Well, if the guy can shelve all that stuff and make it to the field and perform like he has, he's worthy of coming back. So why won't the Patriots want him back? Well, I had seen a report a couple of weeks ago that said he's going to retire. Well, all that is stemming from this issue that he's got going on with his ex-girlfriend. He's got to get that resolved. You know, New England will try to keep that kind of stuff under the rug. They don't want people to know that they actually have problems like all the other teams. And they want to make it seem like this is a perfect place to come. Any kind of waves, they're going to try to get rid of people who are making those waves. They just don't want the negative publicity. But every team is dealing with the same type of thing. These guys have girlfriend problems, court problems, finance, all kind of stuff going on in their lives. And if they're going to legislate all of that and not have players on the team with those issues, then New England's not going to have very many players. So it's hypocritical in a lot of ways. But you got to think, Stephon is just coming off an ACL injury or something. This was just his first year back, and he produced. What do you think he's going to do next year if he were to come back? Now, by him being released, I don't know what he's going to do. Like I said, I've seen where he's going to retire, but I'm not so sure he's going to retire. If you can still play, why not go out there and play? So I expect him to end up on somebody's roster come the fall. Kyler Murray, he's been released by the Cardinals, and the question is, where is he going to go next? Well, they've been talking Minnesota, but I don't see Minnesota as a good landing spot for Murray because he's that short, non-traditional quarterback, and they got traditional weapons up there in Minnesota. So I don't think he'd be a good fit. And um, kind of a powder keg. He might just go up there and destroy the whole damn dynamic of that team. So I think he need to go somewhere with offenses that are used to being accustomed to somebody of his talent. I'm thinking the only other place he can go probably is Miami. Um, my understanding they're going to release Tua, and he's not that much different of a player than Tua. He probably fit right in there with the weapons that the Dolphins have. But that to me would be a much better fit than say going to Minnesota, where you have those additional type players up there. And Jefferson, you want to try to keep him happy and get him the football. And I don't know if Murray can get it to him often enough to keep him happy. He's already suffered after losing Sam Darnold with this guy, J.J. McCarthy. He's not a pro quarterback, and they're going to still try to make him one. And even though he's showing you clearly he's not ready to be a starter in the NFL, since they're paying him all that money, they want to get some kind of return on their investment. That's why they let Donald go. That's why they let Daniel Jones go. Those two guys went on and had pretty good years last year, and you get left with the duck. So you're going to keep the duck another year? Well, how long can you keep the duck before the front office cleans house with the team? It's just something to think about. All right. The Bears traded DJ Moore to Buffalo. Yeah, I saw that. They didn't really throw the ball a whole lot to Moore in Chicago. So I don't know what they're going to get in exchange for that. I think I heard a second round pick or something like that. Um, that's pretty good value for a guy like Moore. Like I say, I don't know how much of a value is going to be up there in Buffalo. I still think they need another shiftier receiver. Keon Coleman, he's been called out, and the whole world knows that he's been called out, so he's got to step up. So if Coleman steps up and DJ Moore complement him on the other side, then that would be a pretty good combination for Josh Allen. But it all depends on what Keon Coleman does. If he don't do anything this year, he's going to be on the wire next year. Maybe if might not even make it through the season. All right, Stephon needs to focus on football, in my opinion. He hasn't proven himself to be elite, in my opinion. Injury and all. Yeah, he's injury prone, but just like all of them, it's a vicious world out there, man. But like I said, he's able to compartmentalize his issues. You don't bring that stuff into the locker room. You don't take it onto the field. I don't think he's doing that. Yeah, he got hurt, but he also produced this year. And he's going to come back next year even stronger off that injury, and he should be primed to have a better year. Now, if I'm New England, I'm going to bring him back. But what they're really saying to you is that they don't want to pay him that $26 million he's owed or something like that. And they're just trying to get rid of that number. But you sign into that 3-year deal, knowing all along that you probably weren't going to keep him that long. But it's just the ways of the NFL. Just like Kenneth Walker, man just won the Super Bowl MVP, and yet Seattle talking about they can't pay him or don't want to pay him the money that he's probably going to command being in the position he's in. I mean, he hit free agency at the right time. He's got that. He's got the Super Bowl MVP, Super Bowl championship, and he's in the prime of his career. Give the man the football, but they don't want to do that because he don't have that splashy name. They always talk about the other running backs out there with bigger names. But hell, those guys don't have, most of them don't have Super Bowl championships. So what would you rather have? Some guy with a flashy name who can't get you over the top, or somebody that's underrated and performing enough to get you to where you need to go? I'm going to take the underrated guy every time. Damn the stars. Not doing me any good. So I asked the question, do you think Logan Paul is going to get a fight, an NFL player? I think the NFL players will laugh about it, but there'll be some of them that will want to step into the ring. But I think even those that want to step into the ring that are current, I don't think that the Players Association would allow them to do it. So that'd be something that will come out um, in time on that. But can he defeat some NFL players? I'm probably sure he could if it wasn't rigged. But Miles Garrett, you better leave him alone because Garrett continually whips on those big 300 plus pound offensive linemen. So be like looking at a steak and some fries with Logan Paul. Because all you got to do is press him, pin him up against the ropes, and he got a problem. You don't have the skills to cut the ring off and move and minimize his opponent like a real boxer would. And because of that, that big guy like Miles, he probably just charge across the ring, and then Paul's going to be not be able to get out of the way, and then he's going to get pummeled and lose $1 million. All right, D Nice, what's going on, man? Man, I told you about them T Wolves, man. You got to start playing NBA, whatever they call it now. So I know you've been putting in those season mode and you've been taking the Timberwolves to the championship every year, and then you think that's real. Well, it's not real. When you get whipped in real life, you can't hit the reset button, D Nice. You're going to get whipped. And take my word for it. That's what's going to happen because you guys still aren't ready yet. And he needs a ship. Yeah, well, we go down to Winn-Dixie or whatever the store they call it up there, where you from, and we get him some Chips Ahoy. That's the closest ship he's going to get. Because right now, the Timberwolves just getting dunked in milk. That's all they are, man. But in all honesty, I don't know who's going to come out of the West. I still think, like Denver, might just be the best team in the West. I know they all talking about San Antonio, but looking at the scores from the parlay lines, I don't know. I don't see enough consistency there, scores across the board, to make me think that San Antonio, even though they match up with OKC pretty well, they're going to be the team coming out of the West. You know how these playoffs are. Seedings make all the difference. They don't reseed once the playoffs start. And if they don't have the right seeding, and they may not even match up with OKC, you may not even see them because they'll either lose trying to get to them or vice versa. And the matchup that you really want to see, it won't unfold. So because of that, I just don't see San Antonio getting through that West. Now I see that Jason Tatum, he's come back. He's going to come back and make his debut, I believe tonight, or is it Sunday? Sometime in the next couple of days, he's going to make his debut. And what's about 10, 12 games left in the season? That's enough for him to get into a rhythm and should make a difference for Boston in the playoffs. Because Jaylen Brown's been scoring almost 30 a game, if not 30 a game. In the playoffs, they got a game plan to slow that down. And with a guy like Tatum coming back, that opens things up for the Celtics. Now, he's not going to be carrying them like he was doing before. He's going to take a back seat to Brown because he's been doing it all year. Now, there's going to be some games when both of them have 25 plus points. And if they're doing that, the Celtics are going to be hard to beat. Even without Tatum, they're the second seed in the East right now. And that's bad news for the East. I know Detroit is there. Detroit can whip the Knicks. I wasn't sold on the Knicks anyway because they got Mike Brown as a coach, and that's going to show in the end. And watch out for the Celtics. That's all I can say. Give Anna Ship, or you laughing at me about the Chips Ahoy. Rudy played well this year. Yeah, he is. You should ask Shaq what he think about it because he started talking about Gobert. He started like he want to throw up. So ask Shaq and see what he say about Gobert at this point. But you're going to need it if you want to advance. And I'm not quite sure that you guys are quite ready to get over that hump, D-Nice. What you need to do is come on down to one of these Southern teams and get you a real team because right now you ain't getting it with your Timberwolves. But anyway, I got to get up out of here, man. One last look at this poll. 48% of you are saying that an NFL player will fight Paul. I don't think so because of the Player Association. They'll put a stop to that, and that's the only reason why. But $1 million is too low of a number for a real good NFL player to take a bite on something like that. But a guy like myself, throw me $1 million. And I'm going to take that $1 million and I'm going into training. And I'm not coming for no exhibition. I'm coming to win the fight. So I'll have to take that approach because of my age. I can't get caught. The long arms you got, I can't get caught on the end of that jab, man. I have something for all of that. But that's just me talking. It never happened. But at the same time, if the opportunity came, where's the paperwork? That's all I want to see. And I need to see some money up front. You don't have that, then won't be no fight anyway. Anyway, D Nice, T Mill, appreciate you guys chiming in with me today. Gorilla, I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means. Anyway, I appreciate you guys chiming in with me, man. There's some breaking news. I come back in. And next time I do come on, whatever it is, we'll do some talking about Dabo Swinney. And maybe he has a point. And college football and college sports in general, they might be in serious trouble because basically what he's doing is calling them out. And I'm trying to stop this before it gets completely out of hand. So save me is what Dabo is saying. And we'll get into that next time. In the meantime, you guys have a great day wherever you are in the world. This is Sports for Real. And I got to get up out of here, man. You know, my Steelers picking number 21 this year. And I know people counting us out. Maybe Rodgers will come back.